Hello, guys, and welcome to another podcast of SpoBits.com. So, today we will be reviewing some of the games of the ICC Cricket World Cup 2019, which is taking place in England. We did review podcast 2 weeks back, so we will be carrying it on from there, and we'll be analyzing some of the games and some of the performance of the teams that are participating in this tournament, and what are the scenarios of the semi-final positions. So we are here, myself, Mizgan Masani, and I am joined by Mushir Ahmed. Hello, Mushir. How are you?
Yeah, hi Ms. Gan. Yeah, I'm fine. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I'm good as well. So what are your thoughts, general thoughts on the World Cup so far? I think it was going a little bit tame 2 to 3 days back, but I think it has been reignited in the past 2 days. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, exactly. See, the when the World Cup started, it was like always a one-side affair. Looking the big teams, the expected teams were winning, except one odd, maybe a little bit odd victory by of Bangladesh over South Africa. But from then on till last couple of days, it was one-sided affair. That what we were expecting, what the everybody expected, that was happening, and there was no spice. There was no like lively games were very much like it was one-sided games for most of the matches. But from past couple of days, from this Friday onwards, when England lost against Sri Lanka and then Afghanistan posed a good challenge to India, so it looked like the World Cup has become live, and every match seems to be having its own taste and flavor. So we cannot say that okay, because India was playing against Afghanistan, it could have been a very easy victory for India, but the match went up to last over, and India had a scare that they could actually lose the game when they posed a small, modest total of 224. Similarly, against Sri Lanka, England become too complacent and they eventually lost. And so it's same thing happened between New Zealand and West Indies. It was a very nail biting finish. West Indies actually pulled it off thanks to Carlos Braithwaite, but one miscued shot made it all wrong for West Indies, and they eventually lost the match. So it seems that these close matches and Sri Lanka upsetting England, it has opened a door for the teams which are in the bottom half, not in the top four, to climb up and maybe uh, make upset to the existing top four teams and go to the semi-finals. But still, it's a long shot. We still have a lot of matches left, a lot of good matches and decisive matches. And the match today against South Africa and Pakistan victory was really important for them, and they are still in hunt and they can create upset. We know that they are the team who are capable of upsetting any team on their given day.
Yeah, so yeah, so you're right about it. You're right about Pakistan. So especially if we talk about the bottom half teams and their chances to reach the top four, I think we can discount Afghanistan, South Africa, and West Indies from it, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so we can officially discount. We can officially remove South Africa and Afghanistan from this equation. West Indies have an outside chance that also is quite minimal, but Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka still have. I should say 10 to 20% of the chance. So in terms of what England did against Sri Lanka, so and you expect a resurgence from them against Australia, because if they lose against Australia on Tuesday, mind you, the gate will really get big for the teams in the bottom half to climb up.
See, the problem with England is that they become complacent when they chase a small total, and they can become like uh, they don't build up the partnership. They didn't build up the partnership well against Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
They chose the same kind of total against West Indies because they had a very good opening partnership, and they built on that. Even though they had to send Chris Woakes at number 3, so it
Yeah.
was not that England lost because I'm not demeaning Sri Lanka's spirit or their performance. That Sri Lanka were very good in the bowling, but England lost because of their own sense of complacency. I would again point out that Moeen Ali should have, and Stokes. I can't blame Stokes. He batted throughout the inning, but Moeen Ali and Stokes could have easily clawed the match for England when they required, I think, around 60 runs at that point.
Yeah.
And after hoisting a six, you cannot expect to. hit the six on this next ball, and you don't need at that time. You didn't need at that time. So these are the small mistakes that England have done. The same mistake that they did against against Pakistan when they were chasing, and they were on the right track despite losing the wicket. Butler and Root did a good job to rebuild and bring the target in the touching distance, but they lost because they could not capitalize on that. And I don't. They sometimes overestimate the latter half of their batting lineup, because you cannot leave a chase on the latter half every time. People like
Yeah, top order
Rashid,
has to contribute
Vokes,
in
and
turn.
yeah,
I think the top order has to take more responsibility when it comes to chasing
yes,
because
yeah,
the
yeah.
pressure
That's what
keep
I
on.
want to continue.
Yeah,
The people like Vokes, Rashid, Archer, and maybe Ali, they are more dangerous when you are batting first. They can hit the ball out of park, and when they don't have pressure to chase. While
yeah,
chasing, it's more the onus of the batsman, the top order batsman, the crux batting lineup to make the innings and build the innings for that. So it's not that England are like doomed and gone out after one loss against Sri Lanka narrowly. But the thing is that, yeah, of course, and they it's their like their psyche that they perform very good against good teams, and they sometimes stumbles against the smaller ranked teams or teams who are not performing well. They see their record against Ireland. They lost in 2011, and against Bangladesh. These are the two smaller teams they lost in 2011 World Cup, and they won against, I think, all the big teams and drew against India,
yeah.
apart from their loss against Sri Lanka in quarterfinal.
Hmm.
2015 World Cup was a disaster for them, so let's not count that World Cup. And in this World Cup also,
Yeah.
they are their basics are right, but they lost. So I don't think that England will lose or will be in a lot of trouble in the rest of the three matches. And I think, yeah, you are right. There will be resurgence from England. They will try to come very hard in these three matches, and they know their home conditions well, and they have been playing good ODI since last 2 3 years. So it will be a tough for Australia. Yeah, of course, if they lose, it will open the gates for the teams like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. But let's hope that England play well, because they have a very good potential and they can claw their way back to the top four again.
Yeah, so I think you really explained that very well about England. So let's little talk about the other three teams. I think Australia are pretty much in the semi-finals. They at least I think they need one more win out of their remaining three games. I think they can really get that. So I think they're looking one of the favorites in the tournaments and one of the the table toppers, New Zealand. What do you think about them? A short summary about them. Have you been impressed by their performance, or is it that they are digging deep into their resources and just getting their results, and they might fall short when it comes to the current situations?
Yeah, see, if with the New Zealand, they have been a little lucky with the fixtures also. See, the
Yeah,
early
yeah,
fixtures against the lower, means the teams like Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka were not
yeah,
performing
yeah.
so well. So these kind of victories against even minnows or smaller teams give you a confidence. And the cricket and any sports is a game of momentum and confidence. When you are
Yeah.
winning, you are in a very good touch, and you think that your basics are covered and your confidence is high. That's what
Yes.
happened with New Zealand.
Yeah, yeah,
And see,
yes.
they struggle against South Africa, far better side than Afghanistan, and
Yeah.
they almost lost against West Indies yesterday.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not that New Zealand are like they are unbeatable or they cannot be beaten. It's that they are a little bit of lucky with the fixture, and they have been working, flying under the radar, and have made a very good statement that they can be on the top of the table and proceed to semi-final. So it's that they have the loopholes. Their openers are not performing so well in last two matches, and bowling is too much dependent on Trent Bolt and Lockie Ferguson. I
Yeah.
don't think they have so much of penetrating power in the middle overs unless the opposition plays wrong shots and lose their wicket. So
Yeah.
it's that, let's see what happens when New Zealand play against bigger teams like New Zealand and England. Their match against India would have been a real test for them, but it got washed out. So the their match against England will really give them how much capacity and capability they have when it comes to really tight and crunch match against a big team. Till now, they can be termed as having a charming life, a charmed life in which they are having the things are going their way. Even yesterday, that shot again when Brathwaite got out, it could have gone little 5 inches further, and it would have been a six. So it was that little lucky for them to be in this spot of the top of the table.
Yeah, so yeah, I think you're right about it. I think New Zealand. I have always been like that in tournament cricket. They just about do enough to reach a particular stage, and then they fall off, just because they are still not a very complete team in my opinion, and I think you would agree with it as well. So yeah, in terms of New Zealand, so I think the final team we talk about is India. So India were given a huge scare, massive scare by Afghanistan. I think India's only weakness, their middle order was really exposed yesterday, and they really struggled to get a substantial score to really beat Afghanistan by a larger margin. It was had it not been for Shami taking a hat trick, I think Mohammad Nabi would have won the game for Afghanistan.
Yeah, see, with India, I think their over reliance on Kohli and Rohit Sharma is the problem.
Yes,
When,
yes.
when Rohit Sharma fails at the top of the order because they don't have Dhawan, they won't have Dhawan in this tournament anymore.
Yeah.
And so it becomes a really tough ask for KL Rahul to keep the momentum or keep the scoreboard ticking with boundaries, odd boundaries, and with because the class that Rohit Sharma has on the top of the order, KL Rahul is no match for him right now. And
Yeah.
when their partnership in running between the wicket has been a little bit awful against Pakistan,
Yeah.
and for yesterday, because Rohit Sharma did not last long, so we could not say that this problem has been solved when they are running between the wickets. So when
Mm.
if they lose Rohit Sharma at the top, it becomes the responsibility of Kohli to build the innings, and and losing your top opener within 5 overs, and when the Kohli is exposed, so there's a problem that Kohli has to act like an opener, like a partner, that he has to open the inning, he has to build the inning for India, and you cannot expect him to carry out playing for from 5 overs to 50 overs. If he loses his wicket in between, in like you say, between 25 to 30 overs, from there the last 20 over is the main where India loses its touch while playing the shots or while rotating a strike. Then I think the middle order is little exposed. They have not been in a very fine touch. They are not very smart at this time to rotate the strike to make out boundaries. And I again say for finishing the inning they rely too much on Dhoni and maybe likes of Pandya to have clean hit. But these all things become good. These all things tick the boxes when you have a very good partnership up the order and middle of the order. Then it gives the likes of Pandya and Dhoni to have a go in the last 5-10 overs. So when we have Dhoni who has to build the inning, he can be a little slow at times, and also maybe because of his slowness and or because of his growing age, he sometimes loses his wicket and does not build the inning that was evident against Afghanistan yesterday. So yes, so over reliance on Kohli and Sharma is a bit of bottleneck for India. When their batting line and their team looks very competitive and very much uh, uh, above the par, but this can be a little bottleneck, and the management has to see and make the things maybe shuffle the batting order a little bit so that they have a better middle order.
Yeah, so you're right about I think their middle order. I think they with the arrival of Rishabh Pant, they can replace Vijay Shankar with Rishabh Pant, because they didn't
Yeah,
use
exactly, exactly,
Vijay Shankar
exactly.
yesterday. Yeah, with the ball.
Because I
Yeah.
don't think Vijay Shankar is a good all three-dimensional player, and he can bowl also in the seaming conditions. He can be a very dangerous bowler. But the thing
But
is
with the,
that
yeah,
you cannot have an all-rounder playing at number five. I think you need
number
a
five,
proper
number four.
batsman at
Yeah,
this time.
you need
But
a pro batsman. Yeah.
yeah, proper batsman for these kind of positions, because you never know when you lose 2-3 wickets at the top of the inning, at the start of inning, that these batsmen, number 4, number 5, have to rebuild the inning. I don't think Vijay Shankar has that much of experience right now, and it's a World Cup games are very competitive to come and build the innings and be smart enough so that run rate also keeps going and not get stuck in the pitch. So yeah, of course they can either replace him with Rishabh Pant, or they can also use, I don't know if Rishabh Pant can open the inning or not, but he I think he has the short playing capability, and this will be better if they replace him as an opener rather than playing at number 5. It's my thought. Maybe I'm not very much pro on this.
Yeah, I think you're right about KL Rahul as well, and Vijay Shankar and Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant's possibility of opening the batting. They have Dinesh Karthik as well, but I think Dinesh Karthik is more of a backup for Dhoni. So unless and until India seal their place in the top 4 before the last 2 games, I think Dinesh Karthik won't come into the team. So yeah, you're right about everything you said about every team. So I think we have discussed uh, the, the 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 games that has happened in the last 2 weeks and the possible scenarios. I think the every scenario will open up with the more vigor if Australia beat England. So we shall wait till Tuesday evening to find out
Mm,
if the 3 teams that we are talking about, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, have a chance or not in the top 4. So
exactly.
thanks. Yeah. So thanks a lot,
Yeah.
Mushir,
So,
for
Ms.
this
Gan,
insight. Yeah.
before we
Yeah.
conclude, what are your thoughts? So, what can be the result on Tuesday? Because it will be a massive result for this
See.
tournament.
Yeah. See, we're watching England from the past umpteen years. We have known, as you said also, that England's record. England are like Pakistan in these kind of situations. They will turn up. They'll turn the heat up when it comes to crunch games, especially against the likes, especially against big rivals like Australia. So I don't think England, unless Australia plays special cricket, which I don't think they are. I think Australia have been quite vulnerable. They have played well in patches and are winning games. So, but they are showing a winning mentality, which they inherit from the past as well. So they have that winning mentality that is carrying them through in certain games. So if Australia continue to play that cricket, then I think England should win. If Australia produce a better cricket, at the moment both teams are quite equal in terms of ability, especially with Australia having Warner and Smith back and Stark in form.
Mhm.
So in that sense, both teams are quite matched, and we should expect a good contest. But I think England, if it might be a controversial statement, but if England win the toss and bat first, I will call it as an England win. And if Australia win the toss and bat first, it might be a very tight encounter.
Yeah, exactly. Because you never know when English batting can explode,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
while chasing also. Because I think they will be really, really raring to go against Australia after loss against Sri Lanka. Because when they lost against Pakistan, they just hammered Bangladesh and Afghanistan. Even though they are lower ranked team, but they hammered both the teams with a huge score when batting
Yeah,
first. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
yes.
Batting first. I think that's why the toss would be very crucial at Lords, especially Lords. Batting second might be a little tough as well, little tough. So I think winning the toss and batting first would be very crucial for England. So let's see what
Yes,
happens on
exactly.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't think a score of 320, if England they can easily pose against Australia. It will be
Yeah,
chasable with the
yeah, yeah.
bowling line of England. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if England post bat first and post 300 plus, and I think that then I think it will be very tough for Australia. Then it's 70-30 in favor of England. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, thanks a lot, Mushir, for your
Yeah, thanks.
insightful.
Thank you, Ms. Gan. Maybe we can also discuss have a post podcast after England and Australia match and
Yeah, yeah,
regarding
because I think the
that.
scenarios will open up, and
Yep.
we would get to know more about the top 4 chances of every team by that
Mm.
time by Tuesday night. So yeah, thanks a lot, Mushir. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Ms. Gan. Thank you.
So that's it, guys. So that's it, guys, from today's podcast. We reviewed the every game and also talked about the possible scenarios of every team reaching the top 4 and also touched upon the performances of every team in the past 2 weeks. So keep following SpoBits.com and on every social media page, and we will be putting this podcast on YouTube. So you can subscribe to the YouTube channel of SpoBits to listen to more contents like this. Thanks a lot.